Podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. Hello. Oh my gosh.
What is the tea, Cheli? Just get to it. This book is so long, we don't have time.
Okay, it's not...
We need to go fast.
Okay, it's not really tea where it's like, I'm gonna fight someone tea. Although, you know...
Okay, that's good.
I would never. But apparently this tea made it to like normal TikTok tea. Like, you know, it's like a normal TikToker who's not on booktok talked about this. And I found this out from Anna Report News, which is a TikTok account. And there's basically this drama going around about this new app called Verba. And so this app was created by influencers and authors that are on booktok. And so the point of this app is to make it accessible for people to have audiobooks, because they're saying that like audiobooks are not as accessible as they should be. So like for authors who have audiobooks and just want to put it on here, or who need audiobooks and need someone to narrate it for them, this site apparently, or app, would be completely free. And like it sounds good. Like she sounds too good to be true. Good. So the issue is that things like this already exist, like Libby and Hoopla. So like audiobooks are accessible. But I think this is more for like indie author books who like probably getting an audiobook would be a little harder. But then the people they hired to be like the narrators, like apparently have very little to no experience. And it's like, these aren't even narrators. Like, are they just giving it to anyone to narrate these books? And that's where the tea is. Do
they even get paid though? Or is it also just for free? Is it like volunteering?
I have no idea. If that's volunteering, that's a lot of work for volunteering.
I know. I was thinking that too. That would be very tedious. But that's an interesting thought. I do agree with you that, you know, there are apps like Libby and Hoopla who help a little bit. But I do wish that audiobooks were a little bit more accessible, because I feel like, I don't know, because even on Libby, like not everything is an audiobook. I forgot which books I've looked up, but there's some books where I'll only find it as an ebook and I can't find an audiobook for it. It's like you either have to go on Audible, like exclusively, or maybe on your books app.
Dude, even like we pay for a subscription for Scribed. I would expect there to be more. And as much as I love having Scribed, it doesn't have everything we need.
I know, seriously. It is a big help, but I wish that I had a bigger selection.
But I mean, if they want to give it a try, like I'm down to try Verba as well. I just feel a certain way because I never realized it until we got deeper into this podcast. I am sort of picky with my narrators, because there are some narrators that I would like die for because they're so good at their job. Like I recently read a book and listened to the audiobook at the same time, and it was Extraordinaries by TJ Klune. I hella recommend it. But oh my god, dude, the narrator made me fucking cry. And I'm like, damn.
Really?
No one told you to put your whole ussy into it, but you did.
But I feel like those types of narrators are a little bit rare for me. I don't know, because I agree with you. I feel like I'm not that picky with my narrator. But there have been moments where I'm like, damn, I can't tell if someone is speaking with some narrators. Like I have to actually look at the book to know like when someone is speaking or when another character is speaking, you know?
Yep. And it's so funny because I know that some characters or some narrators do character voices, but I've seen comments that are like, oh my god, their character voice is so bad. And I feel bad for them because it's like they're trying so hard. But like, going in with zero experience and being expected to probably read a novel that's maybe 13 hours long, and you're probably young and you're doing this because you love booktok and you love books, I feel like it could go wrong in several ways. So I hope that they're all taking it seriously.
Yeah. I mean, it probably is not going to happen that way, but that's fine. I do like the idea of this app. I would check it out. Hopefully it's, you know, not a train wreck.
Can I talk about one thing? And we can cut this out if you want to.
Sure.
is the Book Fix podcast starring Yajaira and Cheli. Are we moving to Threads?
You know what? I've been thinking about this. I feel like we should, right?
I feel like we should because it's a baby social media site and it's a good place to like start and then grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that we should obviously connect it to our Instagram. I think you can only connect it to the Instagram, right? Like to an Instagram account?
I think so, because that would give us the same URL. That means if you're looking for us, it's going to be at the Book Fix Pod.
It's the Book Fix Pod, I think.
So please follow us on hopefully Threads.
Right. Honestly, I'm going to see if I could do it after this.
I could do it with you because I downloaded the app. I was going to ask you today.
I think you have to do it through... Oh, no. I think you could do it through the app. So yeah, you could try it out and then just let me know.
Okay. But we have a long one today.
And wait, before we go on, that might actually make it better because I've been taking so many pictures and I've been editing them to, revamp our Instagram because I'm trying to get like a theme going on here.
Yeah, dude, I love you for doing that.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm working so hard. I'm sweating day and night. But yeah, so if you want, I could just focus on that and then you could go be funny because I feel like you're funnier.
Stop the podcast. Don't say that.
Stop it. Pause, guys.
Whoever's
at the cameraman.
Whoever's editing this episode, go ahead and put the record scratch in. No, none of us are going to do that.
No,
so I'll just.
That is so fresh and fit. Okay. Ew.
That's good enough.
Okay, it sounds like a car, whatever.
You're really funny. That joke right now was hilarious. So never tell me you're not funny.
I'm still laughing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll be on Threads. Don't worry.
Okay, sounds good. We have a long boy today. We are going to be talking about a book that has blown up on BookTok. This is the fastest I've seen a book blow up. Like, I haven't seen
seriously
something like take over BookTok so quickly. But we are going to be talking about The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
It's just Fourth Wing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Becky.
Cancelled. Get out. Go walk the parapet.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I have a question. Before we even start. Ahead. Has this author...
Before Cheli and I embark on this journey, Cheli has a question. Go ahead, Cheli.
Oh my god, thank you. I tried looking up, because my question is this the author's first book?
Oh, that's a good question. I wish I could answer that.
It's
not
funny,
sure.
Because
question.
I just looked up Fourth Wing, and the first thing that pops up is Fourth Wing worth it?
Oh my god. I feel like that's such a common question though. Like, I'll look up other book titles and I'll always see like, is this book worth the hype or whatever, like on Google. That's funny.
Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. I can figure out if it is the author's first book. Well, apparently she's a best-selling author. Congratulations. But nope,
okay,
not their first book.
Interesting. No? Okay, no. It's interesting because this book was released in April of this year, so 2023.
Yeah.
And it just blew up. We've seen it everywhere on TikTok, and Cheli and I have not been as active on TikTok. Well, we're getting a little bit more now, but for a while we weren't that active. So for even us to hear about it, that's saying something. So I'm going to give a quick summary. It's going to be spoiler-free-ish of Fourth Wing. I think you already said it's written by Rebecca Yarros, right?
Yep, go ahead.
Fourth Wing is a fantasy with a war college where our main character, Violet Sorrengail, was prepared to become a scribe, which is someone who is more so underground and focuses on the details of the history of this world. So, focus on books. But then her mother, who is a high-ranking general, her name is Lilith Sorrengail, her mother basically warns her that either she becomes a dragon rider, and that's it. Like, you have to do it. Violet is then forced to endure trials to become a dragon rider, where you either graduate or die. Yeah.
So, if you want to read, I guess, would this be enemies to lovers?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Introducing EverythingMattersPod.com, the 7 times Human Body Award-winning show. and the planet's best program. Everything Matters is a surreal comedy horror podcast. Journey with our fearless hosts, Michael Torr and Dale Dallas, as they uncover the hidden gems and stories of Tri-Town. Don't forget to check out everythingmatterspod.com, because everything matters, and it never ends.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Times 10. This is definitely enemies to lovers.
Would you
This is a
consider
new
it-
adult, so it does have, spicy scenes. I think it has like a good amount of spicy scenes.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if I would consider it a slow burn. I mean, the book is long. It's very detailed.
It's only slow
It has a
burn
lot
because
of
the
world
pages.
building.
I know. There's so
I
much
know,
else
literally.
going on.
It has a lot of action. I think that if you're a fan of
Enemies to lovers, overcoming adversity, the underdog, dysfunctional family relationships,
forced proximity times 10.
and betrayal. If you're into that, if you're hungry for that, this book ate on that. So like you need to probably pick up this book, but also good luck, because I don't know if you were the same, Yajaira. I tried looking for this book.
Yeah, you cannot find this book. I saw a picture of a Barnes and Noble who literally had a whole ass sign that was like, "No, we do not have Fourth Wing. Please tell your friends. I'm tired. Like, we're tired of letting you know we don't have this book." Damn, they were exhausted. They were so tired of the questions.
I went through a bunch of cities today because I went on like a long drive today. And so I stopped at a lot of bookstores. I stopped at a lot of Targets, at Walmarts, and I was like, okay, I want a physical copy because it's so long and it's hard to reference back to a book when we talk about it on the podcast when we've heard it in audiobook form. Like, it's really, really hard. So I was like, I want to see if I could find it. I wasn't really considering buying it unless like the price was good, but like I would go to like Targets and it would say Fourth Wing on like the little like paper, but then like there's no books there. I'm like, please.
Yeah, no, it's gone. It's sold out.
Oh my God.
I think even on Amazon, you wouldn't get it quick enough.
It's crazy for me though, because like for both of us, I didn't expect where we live to have so many readers.
Dude, like, there are so many readers around here. It's kind of crazy.
It is.
I'm surprised by it too.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? We experienced this through audiobook form. So I just want to apologize beforehand, only because I'm going to forget a couple of things. But I did pull up names, so I'm good on that. But I want you, Yajaira, to guess how I feel about this book.
Okay, so Cheli and I, we don't tell each other how we feel about the books that we talk about. So I'm going to guess. This one's a little bit hard because it was a long read and I know that you're so busy.
Well, I wasn't around this time.
No, you were. You were very busy. I'm going to guess that you would give it like a 3.
Can I ask why?
No.
Okay.
Well, I thought we weren't going to elaborate anymore.
Well, you know what? I think you're going to give it a 5.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay, anyway, so let's get started.
Okay.
If this is the first time you're listening to us, before when we would do this, it felt like we were just projecting how we felt when we would give these explanations. I'm not pointing any fingers or anything.
Maybe like 50% of this podcast, but like a percent that feels very apologetic about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, somebody here would project more than the other, but you know, we all have our flaws and that's okay. I forgive you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay. I wouldn't consider it a flaw more so than like, just really good at talking. She's
right,
really good at talking, very funny, but I'm not the funniest on the podcast. I think it's Yajaira.
Oh my God.
Don't even, I'll fight you about it.
Okay, I will fight you. My fists are already swinging.
Okay, so because this is a dense book, I do kind of want to go beginning, middle, end, because I have a lot of things to say about certain points, and I want to focus a little bit on the beginning.
Okay, yeah, we can just take this as like Violet's journey. So in the beginning of the book, like I already said in the summary, she was prepared to be a scribe.
Yeah.
She was not built for this. Also, wait, before we say anything else, I do want to mention, I don't know if you know this, Cheli, but the author, Rebecca Yarros, did come out and say that Violet has a disability. It's EDS, which is, I'm sorry if I butcher this, but it's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yes.
Which is pretty much something that affects the skin, joints, and blood vessels. It pretty much like, if I understand it correctly, I think it just makes you like a little bit more fragile. Which makes sense because there were moments where she would get hurt, and the way that I read it, it didn't seem like the impact was as hard as the consequence, I believe.
Yeah.
So now it makes sense.
I do know that with EDS, like you're more fatigued too, which makes sense to Violet. Like it makes, because I didn't know that she had a disability until I looked it up afterwards. So she's very fatigued. She gets bruised easily, and her skin is like, it's just like any little thing will hurt her.
Yeah.
So,
which is
like,
crazy because she is the ultimate underdog.
Yeah. So the fact that she's over here doing dangerous shit, it's like, damn. Like she's really putting herself in like freaking danger.
Yeah. And it's even more surprising because people literally train for this. Like they train years to be a dragon rider. And she was just given like months. Like her mother just dropped the ball on her and was like, if you don't do this, you're not a soaring gale. Like you have to be a dragon rider. And her mom have like, you know, that kind of like cold relationship. Her mom's very much like a general. So she's not very like loving or warm.
You know, I feel a certain way with the way this story started because I feel like they tried really hard to put a lot of exposition into like the first chapter, which I mean, I get because, you know, we're trying to set up the story. But at the very beginning, Violet is with her mom and her sister Mira. And Mira's really mad at her mom and is like, really? You're going to send your kid out to die? Look at her. And then fucking Violet's like, okay, bitch.
Fragile.
I'm
Look
fine.
at her, she can fall off with just the wind.
Look at her, this weak ass bitch. And it's like, Mira, I'm right here. Like, you don't need to fucking talk about me like that. But
no, but even Violet was offended by it. She was like, seriously? I can't believe she's talking about me like that.
But it was crazy because I felt like I learned so much from Mira's like little outburst because there was that I learned. And then there was the fact that she was like, really? You're sending another kid to die? And then it's like, okay, Mira, you're really throwing fucking like, you're it's bullets right now. Your words are bullets. Like, I felt like kind of overwhelmed by the amount that we got out of this first chapter. So I will say that at this point when I was reading it, I was kind of turned off by the book because I was like, is this really how we're going to get like plot? You're going to have dialogue
Really?
I did not like it.
It's funny because I've mentioned that before. I've forgotten what book or what episode, but I don't like those moments where in a conversation you'll drop a lot of like, I guess, character development or just what's going on with your characters. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you're still sad about that car accident that happened 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like moments like that. But with this moment, I didn't really get that feeling only because what it was showing me was that Mira was very protective of Violet, and also Mira was a lot like her mother, which was very cold. And then even the way that Violet described Mira was that she was very strong. Like she is like a really revered like dragon rider. So that's what I was getting in this moment.
I understand that like she is supposed to be an incredibly strong character. And there are some things that she does later that I really like. But the fact that she was like completely protective, I like, okay, good job, Mira. Even though you're kind of trashing your sister, I get what you mean. But then like afterwards, she was
we all
like,
kind of do that as siblings.
I know.
Like I would do the same thing about my siblings. Like, look at him. Look at him. He can't even feed himself.
Yeah, look at my sister. Actually, she might listen to this, so never mind.
Don't look at her.
But she had all this like spiel about wanting to protect her sister, not wanting her to go there, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, you can fuck anyone you want, just make sure it's like a freshman. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're not scared that she might like, I don't know, hurt herself there too? Like you just like completely, it's just like a switch. And I'm like, what the fuck, Mira? Like, this is kind of wild.
I think this book was trying to be very sex positive because even the way, I forgot in what moment it was first brought up, but because they're trying to be dragon riders, death comes way too quickly for them. So as a whole, they're all like, you know what? You never know when you're going to die. So live life to the fullest, go fuck whoever you want. And I think that might have been the first moment that it was brought up, but it was kind of like consistently brought up with like other characters as well.
Yep. And it's so weird to me because how old are they?
Well, it's college, so she's 20.
She's 20. Okay. I feel better.
Yeah, Violet is 20. I don't know how old Mira is.
I know how old the love interest is. He's 23. So.
Oh, of course you would remember him.
Okay, moving on. Well, dude, when she
was like highlighting. That's on my notes.
When she went to school, dude, when they said you will die at this school, like at this dragon rider school, I'm like, okay, makes sense. It's a very dangerous profession, career choice. You are gonna die. No one fucking told me, Cheli, the reader, that fucking your fucking classmates would be like, you know what? I don't like the way my fucking classmate looks. Fuck you. And then they could kill each other? Like, is that just allowed? Do you sign that in the syllabus? Like, I fucking don't know.
I didn't sign my life away.
Wait, hold on.
But it does make sense though, because they even warned everyone there's not enough dragons for everybody. So of course it makes sense that people would be like, you know what? I did the math. Now I don't fit around here, so I'm going to get rid of you.
Guys, you have to understand, although we love you as students, there's not enough teachers to like watch. So if I drop my pencil and pick it up, I can't stop Becky from killing Jessica. If that happens, and then we just move on.
I think they only cared if it was while someone was sleeping, no?
Yes.
That was the only time that you couldn't kill someone. Because how dare you do it while their defenses are down? Are you a coward?
Guys, only kill if it's during office hours, okay? Like, don't be that bitch.
Don't be that bitch.
Jessica.
I don't want to do paperwork
it's like
at
a
night.
girl with a pocket knife in the back. She's like, God damn it. Oh my God, that threw me off. But like, I get it because like you said, there's not enough dragons for everyone. So this makes like everything more intense because there were like hundreds of people in this freshman class, right?
Yeah, they started off with a lot of students, but a lot of them died during the first trial.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you remind me what the first trial was?
So the first trial was essentially them being on a parapet, which I didn't know what that was, but it's pretty much like this. Okay, so if you're looking at a castle, are you looking at it right now, currently?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
One tower connected to the other tower, but what's in between, like the little walkway, I guess, is very thin. So there's nothing for you to hold on to. So I think it's very much about balance. And it's a very stormy night. You know, there's a lot of wind. And so you have to get across the other side. And that's why Mira made Violet switch out her boots, because her boots were very sleek at the bottom. And she was like, girl, you're going to die in these. So she gave her ones that had a better gripping. And she also told her, like, you have to get your hair out of your face because that'll just cause a distraction. So anytime she does any trial, she always puts it like in a bun. And Violet has interesting hair. Like, her hair is brown, but then halfway it goes into like silver. And it's always going to be that way. It has to do with, I can't even remember what it has to do with, honestly.
It's a Sorrengail thing though, right? Like every Sorrengail has that.
No, just her, because I think her mom was pregnant with her. And I don't remember, actually. You know what? This is just like a minor detail that I didn't really pay attention to.
Okay. Wait. Now that you're talking about her hair, can I talk about her eyes?
Yes.
Because there was literally a fucking part that was like, her eyes, they're kind of like a hazel, but like a varying blues and ambers. So like, I don't know. And I was just kind of like, you're telling me this girl has brown eyes, but in the sun has green, but in like, when she feels a certain way has blue. Like, don't give me that shit. Just say Hazel.
Yeah, because I feel that's Hazel. No, that's just Hazel.
Yeah,
Hazel
that's
has a
literally
variation of shades.
Yeah. It was, I remember reading it and I was like, that's a pretty sentence, but also that's fucking stupid. So she's also a short girl, short queen.
Yeah, they keep describing her as small. And okay, let's just get more into her character. What I appreciated about Violet's character was that she knew she wasn't going to win based on strength. So she definitely used her intelligence. And because she had trained to be a scribe, she knows a lot about the world, right? She had a book about poisons. And so I think it's weekly that they'll have you fight somebody. And in this fight, you know, people die. And it gave me Divergent vibes, but...
Yes, me too.
You know.
Me too.
Like a little homage to Divergent, which is cool. I like moments like these, you know, the stakes are very high. So she knew that she wasn't going to win this. And I think in her first fight, she got really badly injured to the point where like she had to go to a healer and they healed her. And she didn't want that again. She didn't want that to happen. And so now she would figure out who she would be fighting that week, and she would find ways to like poison them a little bit. Not enough to kill them, but just to get them really sick. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because the teachers never said you couldn't.
Yeah, that's not in the rule book. So,
dude, I completely forgot she did that.
Really?
It's kind of funny.
I thought it was amazing.
It's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, I'm ready to fight, but I don't know. I've had like a cough for a few days. And she's like, silly, right? Silly how that happens here. Have you drank your milk today, by the way? Like, just asking. Want to make sure your bones are strong.
I know. What are the odds that every single time all of these students would actually finish their meals?
I know. But I mean,
I guess they were I guess they were just, you know, because they train so much, I'm sure they're fucking ravenous. So I guess it makes sense. But what if you decide that day, you know what? I don't want milk. I want juice. Like, I don't want that today.
Fucking Violet's just sitting next to them. Hey, I know I don't talk to you that much, but that fucking milk slaps. And like, I don't want it. Like, don't offer it to me. But like, I feel like it would really change your life. And they try giving it to someone else. Yeah. No. I mean, not for her. Like, it's going to taste like crap for her. But for you, out of this world. Dude,
it's special for you.
Can we talk about the fact that her childhood best friend, Dane, also goes to this school?
Oh, yes. That's funny because I was just thinking about how we were going to bring him up. So when Mira was, you know, saying good luck, do your thing, she told her, stay away from Zayden Ryerson and make sure you go find Dane Ados. So Dane Ados was a childhood friend of hers, and he is very much like... he follows the law of this world to a T. Like, everything matters to him, right? Like, and it's really sad to me. Like, I know that he is very fond of her because she's his childhood friend, but it made me so upset how often he would be like, girl, you're so fucking weak. I can't watch you die. I need you to leave today. And so he was trying, there was multiple times where he would try to convince her, like, okay, girl, hear me out. I have a carriage out front. They're ready to take you. Like, and Violet was very adamant. Like, there's no way that I could leave because my mother would find me anyway and fucking drag my ass back. So with Dane's character, he is kind of like a love interest, sort of.
Dude, I didn't know anything going into this book. So when Dane was introduced, I was like, wait, is this her love interest? Because I don't remember. Like, anytime I would see Fourth Wing content on TikTok, I would skip it. But I was like, I'm pretty sure the name of the love interest wasn't Dane. But I was like, but he's here and they look like they're kind of vibing. And like, even in the story, there's a point where they kiss. And like, I mean, I was like, okay.
We'll be back after a quick break.
You live in a world of exceptional people. People who can fly, people who can disappear or jump to the moon, people who are bigger than you, stronger and faster than you, but not better. And they have made it apparent by now, mighty as they may be, they are not super. They are not heroic. For whatever reason, sympathetic or otherwise, they cannot even control themselves. Luckily for you, your family, the people you love, we can control them by any means necessary. The Beam Chronicles is a fiction podcast by MJ Dooney. New episodes monthly on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or visit beamchronicles.com.
This is a lot.
I liked that moment though, because that was the moment that she realized, like, oh damn, I don't feel anything for him.
I'm glad that she didn't feel anything for him.
Yeah, because she always had kind of like a crush on him, growing up with him. But that moment that they kissed, she was like, yeah, no, there's nothing there.
It made me kind of sad though, because she felt that, and then she looked over at Dane, who was just smiling. Ugh.
I know. He was like, finally, finally we had that moment. I just want to bring up, when you have a dragon, dragons are very powerful. So based on the chemistry of the dragon and the rider, it has like a sigil.
Yes.
And so everyone has like a different ability that they gain from their dragon. And so Dane's is that he is able to see someone's memories with a touch. And normally that would be something that's forbidden because it's very invasive and, it could be dangerous for people who don't want their secrets out. But because it requires a touch, so it requires consent, that's why he's okay, like, to have it, to be there, to stay alive in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy really living.
Because we quickly learned that if there's anyone who has a power that's too dangerous, like, for example, there was one who was starting to hear everyone's thoughts and he was freaking out about it. They immediately killed him because they were like, yeah, no, he can't live here.
That's so sad.
When he can just read my thoughts.
Yeah, what if he tells everyone my secrets? Ugh, dude, the thing about dragons too is that if I didn't really understand this part, so hopefully I explain it well. With the dragons, when they choose you, they also have, like, they can have their own mates as dragons. So
yeah,
if a dragon has a mate, then whoever that rider is, you have to make sure to stay together as riders, because the dragons need to be around their mates to be, like, alive, right?
Good. Yeah. Yeah, they can't stay away from each other for very long. Which I like that, because I like that it adds kind of like a forced proximity aspect to it.
Yeah, and
this is very juicy.
This is where our issue starts, because this whole book, is Violet and her training to be a dragon rider. There's Dane. She has friends too, and she has people that don't like her. But the person who is like the person she hates the fucking most is Xaden Ryerson, because his dad was in charge of
for her brother's death.
Yes, and also in charge of a rebellion. So like, he's horrible. But then at the same time, her mom killed the dad. Right? Killed Xaden's dad?
Violet's mom, yeah.
Yeah.
So Violet's mom was one of the people responsible for the deaths of everyone who was involved in the rebellion. And I think his name was Fen Ryerson. He was one of them. So that's Xaden's dad. And so she was responsible for his death. So, of course, many people who were the children of those in the rebellion hate the Sorangales. And so that adds another aspect, because people, when they find out that Violet is Lilith Sorangale's daughter, they're just like, well, bitch. They're immediately like very hateful. And so, of course, when Xaden figures out who she is, they have kind of like that's the enemy's part of the relationship, right? Because they know what their family did to the other.
Yeah, but it's like a little tough. Just like a little bit. Only because he does have a scar on his face. I think on the left side of his face. And it kind of makes him like really hot. And like, honestly, I get it. Like, I get it. Your dad did kill my brother. But like, you're fucking hot.
And also, so, like, he has tattoos. So he's fucking hot.
Bitch, this guy is so hot, but I think he wants to fucking kill me. What do I do? Do I date him or not?
Fucking end your life.
I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit crazy and maybe date him. And like, they have this like weird like attraction to each other, at least on her side that we know of. But there's really...
yeah, because immediately when she didn't even know who he was and she saw him across the room, she was like, oh my God, he is the hottest man I've ever seen. Like, she was already thirsting over him until she figured out who it was. And she was still like, damn, he's still breathtaking though. Like, it's not my fault. Dude. He's just really good looking.
But, you know, when they figured out who they were, even though they tried to keep their distance, they no longer can because her dragons, because she gets two, one of them is mated to Xaden's dragon. So they have to stick together. And now Xaden is like, well, now you can't die because if you die, I die. And hello, look at me. I'm the hottest man alive. I can't die. What a waste. Am I right, Violet?
Fucking hair.
I know.
I didn't shampoo this hair for 23 years just to fucking die.
You know how much fucking effort I put into skincare? If I died, that's $600 worth of skincare down the drain, Violet. So don't you fucking come to me being like, my leg hurts, my arm hurts. No, Violet. But I fucking love it because he kind of becomes like, okay, because you can't die, I've charmed your room. No one can open the door except for my boy Liam. Everyone hear it out for Liam. And he's like, fuck yeah, bitch. But like Liam was like the only guy allowed.
Liam, by the way.
Dude!
I love Liam so fucking much.
I love him so much too. I mean, I don't want to like throw that word out there, but I think he's my favorite.
He's your favorite? I freaking knew it, Cheli. I know you so well.
Because he's funny. He's just like a cool guy. That's just like, you know what, bitch? Sorry, bitch. I mean, queen.
Queen? My queen?
I will die for you, queen, because my boy Xaden said so. I'm like, wow, bitch. Mm-hmm. Okay. Violet's like, oh, actually, don't drink the milk I gave you. But like, thanks.
Bringing it back to the point. Actually, you know what? Now that we're friends, don't drink
that. Can you like not? I gave you like a 24 pack of milk. Can you just like throw them all away? And Liam's like, yeah, bitch. No problem, bitch. Okay, but I don't remember what, but there's a point where things get so dangerous that Xaden is like no longer like letting Liam take care of her, but then him taking care of her. Do you remember what the turning point was?
Yeah. Wait, before we talk about that, can we just mention that nobody else has two dragons but Violet? Oh, yeah. And because it's really, it's like a whole thing for a dragon to even choose you. If a dragon thinks you're weak, they could just like incinerate you on the spot and no one would blink an eye.
Yes.
And so they, as in like the remaining first years, had to go and walk across these dragon fields, have all of the dragons look at them, sniff them or whatever. And then afterwards, you would feel a bond with someone. And what I really loved about Violet's character is even from the beginning when she gave one boot to Rhiannon, she's always been like a very caring person.
Yes.
And but caring where she will actually do something, you know? And so she figured out that, you know, these group of boys wanted to go hunt a dragon. I don't understand this logic, by the way. Why would you go hunt a dragon? Whatever. But this dragon was like little. It was a baby dragon pretty much. And they just thought like, well, you know what? This dragon is a weakling anyway, so we're going to go kill it. And so she was hurt at this time, but she still stood in between them and was like, no, like, what are you doing? Leave the dragon alone. And she was kind of funny because she was trying to get the dragon to leave, but the dragon was just like, girl, I was sunbathing. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't ruin this for me.
Yeah.
And so because she saved this dragon, which by the way, Xaden shows up with his dragon Sigale, and it was like this whole thing, but he never gets involved because he knows that she can handle it. And so because she saved this little dragon, which her name was Andarna, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Terran shows up, which is the black dragon, which
the black morning startail, which is like the rarest dragon.
Yeah, and coincidentally, the instructor was like, "Don't even expect to see this dragon, okay? Don't expect it." But this dragon showed up, and it was so funny because obviously she felt that bond with Terran, and she couldn't even get on this dragon because he was so freaking big. And so both of these dragons dragons choose her. And because this world values more, it's more about what the dragons want, which makes sense to me. I would have hated it if it was the other way around. If it was like, oh, the dragons had to listen to what the humans had to say, because that doesn't make any sense to me. I like that the dragons rule by what they want or whatever they deem is, you know, acceptable to them. So I like that she was able to just keep both dragons and didn't have to choose one at the end. But then, so later on, because Taryn chose her, it pissed off a lot of people. And again, people already hate her because of who she is. And so her having the, you know, this rare dragon and also having 2 dragons does not help, you know, her popularity. While she was asleep, people broke into her room and tried to kill her. And Taryn, I think Taryn was too far away, but Taryn was trying to get to her. And Taryn is able to communicate with Xaden because, you know, he's made it to Xaden's dragon. Yeah. And so Xaden shows up and pretty much like helps her, but Violet was doing okay on her own. And this is when we discover that she is able to stop time. And that's through Andarna's power. Or, you know, just her abilities, which is it's another one of those like rare abilities. And as soon as Xaden figured it out, or she told him, he was like, you can never tell anyone that you can do this through her, because then they'll use you pretty much as a weapon. And so he becomes so paranoid over her safety, because of course it ties into his safety, that he's like, you know what? I'm going to put a spell on this room. No one can get in. No one can get in but me. Not even Liam could get in, right? It was just him.
Yeah, and Liam's his boy, so that's like a huge thing.
So Xaden becomes more involved in this whole like bodyguard role. And he also like starts training her because he wants her to focus more on her strength, because she was focusing more on her wits for a while. But he was like, no, girl, you need to know how to fight.
Dude, they get super, super close. And it's funny because like never until a certain moment, never throughout their interactions did I think that something like romantic was just going to happen, because it just felt slow. Like, of course there was tension between them, but it wasn't until she experiences being poisoned, right? I don't remember if that was the point, because something happens to her and she gets really like she has like a lot of lust, and she like goes up to him and is just
no, she's not poisoned. She's starting to feel the effects of Taryn's lust for Sigale, because the dragons are mating.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's overcome with that feeling of lust, and she's like, Liam walks in the room and she's like, damn, you know what? All of a sudden, he's
damn,
very
Liam.
Have you always been cute?
Liam's like, yeah, of course I have, bitch. Love you. But nah.
Anyway, can we talk about something else?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
no, yeah. Keep going. Just move on. No, the spice is too much for me.
I know. I'm getting heated in this little room.
I fucking love the spice in this book so much.
Oh my god. And the tension, oh my god, she does tension so fucking well. Because in that moment when she was overcome with lust, you know, she finds Xaden and then she's like, damn, you know what? Maybe I just got to get this out of my system. And he's like, I will not have sex with you during this time, okay?
But it's not happening. But they do kiss, and it's like a very like heated kiss, and he's like, nope. Nah.
He's like, yes, but no.
Yeah.
And what I really like about Xaden's character, I love that he's the opposite of Dane, right? I always love when they do that in love triangles, because Dane has always underestimated Violet, and he's always like, you know what, you're too weak, you're too fragile, whatever. And even when she had those 2 dragons bond with her, Dane was literally like raining on her parade. He was like, oh my god, no, you can't ride that dragon. Look at how big he is, and look how small you are.
How small,
like, he was constantly
cute. I love you. Look at you. You're a bitch. It's like, okay,
you're that bitch. But he was always underestimating her, and it was the opposite of what Xaden would do. Xaden was always like, no, you got this. Like, you're stronger than you know, pretty much.
I think it is.
Yeah, which is what I love about his character.
I think it's funny how they don't have sex until she kills someone for the first time.
Yeah.
It was Arlo, I think. And she was very shaken up, but she had to do it. Like, it was really,
it was to
like,
save Liam, right?
Yes. And because of that, I think Liam feels like indebted to her. Like, you didn't have to do that type of shit. But I know that she feels really like scared, or shaken up is a better term. And it's funny because Xaden shows up and he's super sweet. He's like, you have a lot of emotions right now. If you need someone to yell at me. If you need someone to punch, punch me. Like, tell me what I could do to help you. And she's just like, I want to fuck you. And he's like, okay, let me reword that. Tell me something else, please. And then she's
Pants
just
are
like,
already on the floor.
I know. He's just like, no, babe. Like, while folding his clothes. No. Where can I put this? Bottom shelf? Okay.
Stop.
Babe, stop.
Wait. Before you continue, I just want to bring up that it did take her forever to manifest her ability. And at this point, she already has it. It's lightning. Keep going.
Oh my God, you're right. Because when they have sex, first of all, fucking loved every second of it. It was so fucking good.
Yes.
They're fucking like destroying the world together. Because that fucking room, that shit don't look like a room afterwards. And it's funny because like, it doesn't really, it explains that there's heat and that like you can hear the crackle of like the lightning, but both of them are so into it that it's like, you know, whatever. And it isn't until the next day. Cause at first she's like, oh my God, wait, Xaden cleaned up for me. Shut the fuck up. That boy's so fucking nice.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, everyone.
I knew it. I knew he was the one, but I'm going to marry that man.
But then she like comes back and it's funny. It's like a fucking barbecue-ish smell. And she's like, God damn. Fucking, what do I tell the professors? Like, my fucking room is gone. But dude, I was like, I don't care what I thought about this book at the beginning. I'm fucking ride or die for Violet and Xaden. Like,
ride or die.
Yeah.
I'm here on this fucking ship. I really do love them together, though. I think that the tension of their relationship, and then once they actually do have sex, amazingly done. I was obsessed. I was also surprised that they did have sex, though, because I was expecting more of a slow burn. Like, I was like, damn, they're not even gonna do nothing until the second book. But no.
But dude, even after they had sex, like afterwards, their interactions were still like a lot of tension, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't end there. And I'm gonna speed. Oh, go ahead.
Isn't it because since Xaden is going to graduate soon, he doesn't know where he's going to end up, right? And so they don't really want to. Well, he doesn't really want to put a label on their relationship, even though it's obvious that they both are really into each other. And so she tells him, like, if it's nothing serious, then I don't want anything with you. Then,
but then they always end up with each other. And they have like
naked.
another spicy moment together. Fucking love that shit. But she says I love you to him. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that felt really quick to me, but I guess it's kind of weird because they are basically soulmates. So I kind of get like why this feeling is so intense and so quick. But the fact that he didn't also say it back,
I was like, bitch. And then also you have to remember that these people, they don't know how long they have to live because of the lifestyle that they have. So I think that her saying I love you, to me it also felt quick, but to the world that they live in, it made sense.
Yeah, that does make sense when you put it that way. I know that this part kind of confused me. So Violet and Xaden are fucking in the middle of fucking, and
period.
You hear someone knock, and it's funny because Xaden is like, okay, someone better be fucking dead, something better be fucking on fire. And they're like, bitch, sir, yes, like, you need to come out here. Like, there's basically a war about to go down. And so then Xaden and Violet go, and they meet up with like not Taryn. They meet up with Xaden's group of people. And I think Xaden holds her hand.
It's the class, no? It's like that whole first year class.
It's not the first years. I don't think it is, because then they mention like, oh, we have to go into this fight. Let's bring everyone. And then he wants to bring Violet.
Right, yes.
And it's like, really? You're bringing a first year with you? And he holds her hand, which is like a huge thing.
Because Violet should be with the first years, right?
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Of their dragons together, she's going to be with Xaden. And Dane is in charge of that wing, the fourth wing, which is where Violet's in. But Xaden is like a higher rank than him. So I think he's just like in charge of what? All of them? I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, he is, but he sees Xaden and Violet holding hands, and he's like, are you fucking serious?
Dane.
Like, are you
Dane
fucking
sees them.
serious?
And then also
Liam's
she's
just like,
wearing
yes, bitch.
Xaden's sweater or his coat or whatever.
Yeah, that has
like,
the sigil.
His fucking... Yeah. Oh my God. I loved that moment. I was like, damn, the stakes are staking.
Dude, you're right about the fact that they like literally, because their life is so short and they can die at any moment. One of them literally goes like, how was the sex? Like, you know, like how the fuck was it? Like they're like so open about talking about that shit.
Is he big? Like how big is he? It's like that one scene in New Girl. Okay, tell me when to stop. Seriously? Okay, I'm starting over.
You're fucking right. I fucking love that. That's very Liam energy though. Like
Liam would.
Oh, dude. But I don't remember what happens, but there's a part.
So
go ahead.
At the end, they're pretty much gonna do like this mock, right? Like, oh, what happens if people come and invade us or something? And so they're trying to do like a mock trial run. But then Dane is trying to tell Violet, come on, you need to come over here. And then he asks her, oh, so you're choosing him pretty much? She says yes. And he's like, what does he say? He says a line to her that's very like eerie, where it's like, well, it was nice knowing you, or something like that, or take care of yourself, or I don't know, something that's very much like a goodbye then. Because then later on, when they're going around doing their thing, they do start I don't know. I don't exactly understand the world 100% just yet. I think I need to do another read.
Me too.
Pretty much there's like another group of people, right? Or creatures or something that are
wyverns.
Supposedly responsible. Yeah. Well, the wyverns are what can kill a dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or right? Okay, hold on. You know what? Let me look at this up because I'm like blanking on the ending now.
Can I read a quote? I'm sorry, because I'm looking through the quotes. There's one that I really like that I can't remember when it was said, but I'm pretty sure it was said by Violet, where it's, there's nothing more sacred than the archives. Even temples can be rebuilt, but books cannot be rewritten.
And then we figure out that there are books that are being hidden. Like she asked for a book that her father would read, and they were like, this book doesn't exist, and it's supposed to be like the biggest library ever, so they're supposed to have every fucking book. And so her dad even left her a note that was like, you know, it was very cryptic. I forgot what exactly he said, but pretty much he was hinting at the fact that, you know, people were trying to hide the truth.
Yes.
And I know that you're going to make the right choice in the end.
Damn.
If I got a note like that, I'd be like, what the fuck, Dad? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Dad, are you trying to... Do you know about my milk poisoning thing, Dad? Oh, well, he's gone, but like, I bet he knew.
He's gone. Oh, yeah. Her dad passed away. Okay. The ending. The ending happened kind of fast. It was like a final battle, right?
Yes. Yeah, I don't remember all of it either, but I do know that it's revealed that what Xaden is doing looks traitorous. And then he reveals that, like, yes, I am going against the school. And fucking Violet is like, how fucking dare you? I trusted you. I loved you. Was this all a joke to you? Like, yeah.
Do you even love me? Even Liam wasn't on it. Like, everyone who was close to Xaden knew.
Yeah, but then he was trying to explain, like, no, this is like real. Like, what we have is real. It's just, you know, there's so much that I need to tell you, so much I didn't tell you. And there is a big battle where Violet ends up getting hurt. But I think she kind of realizes...
before...
I was going to talk about Dane.
Before that, though. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, she kind of realizes, though, that maybe Xaden is not completely lying about there being more to it because, you know, some things that the archives talked about that were mentioned are now real. And then Xaden mentions that Dane, who can look into your past by touch.
Your memories.
Yeah, into your memory by touch, might have been doing that and leaking information that Xaden had been telling her. And then I saw someone make a TikTok, which was so good. They took that quote and then showed every time that Dane talked to Violet. And every time it was like, he caressed her cheek. He touched the small of her neck and everything. And it's like, oh my God, this boy had been doing it since day one.
Which is crazy to me because, like I said, he's very big on the law. So that means from his character, it seems like he totally was leaking it from the beginning. And also, we didn't bring it up, but the person who tried to kill her that night, she saw who this person was, and Dane did not believe her that it was that person. And he was like, I don't believe you. Let me touch you. And he like reached for her. Like he was just going to do it without even her saying yes.
Yep.
And she was like, what the fuck? And so she didn't realize that in order for him to get the memory, like she thought that she would need to like consent for it, like it would be like a longer process and maybe she would realize what memory he was looking into. But Xaden was the one who told her all it takes is like a touch, like it doesn't require a lot of time. Like he's been looking at your memories this entire time.
It kind of feels like Dane,
which was just it was just heartbreaking, honestly, because he was her childhood friend.
It kind of feels like Dane is just like this school's tattletale. And because he likes following the rules, this is how I took it. Because he follows the rules so heavily that he's willing to do anything in order to make sure that the school like knows everything, you know?
Yeah.
Which
I took it
sucks.
as because of his power and the type of power he has to like be almost annoyingly like a rule follower, right? Like he has to be super out there so he can be like, look guys, I'm telling you everything that I see because I'm not a threat to you guys, so please trust me, right? That's how I see it. So it makes me think that like he's never really cared about, I don't know, like to me it feels like he doesn't really care about Violet, because he even said that if he had to choose the law or Violet, he would choose the law.
That's so fucked up.
He didn't exactly say it, but he wasn't like, no, what? No, I wouldn't do that. And even Xaden was like, you really are going to trust someone who would put, you know, the law over you?
Dude, okay. So I want to move to the very, very end because the last chapter in this book, I think it's the last one, is the only chapter we get in Xaden's perspective. And I actually got a screenshot that I found on Twitter where someone was like, it's crazy that this entire book was written in Violet's perspective, but just by one chapter and these 2 paragraphs alone, you could tell how much he actually loved Violet. So I'm going to read it to you. Okay, it's the part where he says, she can't die. And not just because there's a chance I won't survive. She can't die because I know I can't live without her even if I do. Somewhere between the shock of our attraction at the top of the turret to realizing she risked her own life by giving up a boot for someone else on the parapet that first day to throwing those daggers at my head under the oak tree, I wavered. I should have realized the danger of getting too close the first time I put her on her back and showed her how easily she could kill me on the mat. A vulnerability I've allowed no one else, but I brushed it off as an undeniable attraction to a uniquely beautiful woman. When I watched her conquer that gauntlet, then defend Andarna and Threshing, I stumbled, stunned by both her cunning and her sense of honor. When I burst into her room and found Oren's treacherous hand at her throat, the rage that made it so easy to kill all 6 of them without batting an eye should have told me I was headed for a cliff. And when she smiled at me after mastering her shield in mere minutes, her face lighting up as the snow fell around us, I fucking fell. We hadn't even kissed and I fell. Or maybe it was when she threw her knives at Barlow, or when jealousy ate me alive seeing Eidos kiss the mouth I dreamed about countless of times. Looking back there were thousands of tiny moments that pulled me over the edge for the woman asleep in the bed I always pictured her in.
Damn. He's like in love with her, bro.
Dude, I think
kind of gross.
Dude, I don't want to be that bitch, but I think he likes her.
I think so.
like dry heaving.
Oh my God. I loved that we had a glimpse of his perspective in the book.
I
thought that was amazing.
If it's in his chapter, it probably is. But there's a shorter quote. It's only a sentence where he says, I would rather lose this entire war than live without you. And if that means I have to prove myself over and over, then I'll do it. You gave me your heart and I'm keeping it. Oh, it's near the end when she's kind of like, I can never love you.
That was his quote because she kept bringing up how she didn't want to give him her heart, but obviously it happened. So that's why he said that, which I love so much. Oh my God.
And dude,
that's so cute.
And in his mind, like in his heart, he was like, I love her, but I can't just say that to her right now because it feels like I'm kind of just saying it as a clutch. But I believe in it, and that's enough. And like, I'm not going to let her go. So
that she will forgive him, right? Because she's upset with him because of, the things that he's been doing that he wasn't honest about. But then all of a sudden, we get a little bit of a plot twist.
Yes!
Because she had been poisoned. Also, wait, we never brought up that Liam died?
Wait,
hello?
rest in paradise.
Hello? I was so freaking devastated when that happened. So his dragon died, right?
Yes.
A rider without a dragon is pretty much dead, right? That's what the quote is. I don't remember the quote, but no, let me say the quote.
A dragon without its rider is a tragedy, and a rider without their dragon is dead.
Thank you. I was going to look for it. But yeah, so because his dragon died, didn't survive this battle, Liam died shortly. And honestly, I was so fucking devastated. I had a feeling that he was going to die. Yeah. But you know how some writers, you never know if they will actually have a character death? Girl, she had a fucking character death. I was so sad. I mean, she's had many character deaths.
I know, that's what I was going to say. Really everyone died the first day, but okay, go off.
No, but that one really hurt.
Yeah, dude. I hate it because I feel like, because I know this is going to be 5 books, there's going to be so many more deaths. So many more. But the plot twist at the end.
So, Violet had been poisoned. She wakes up. That's when she's having her talk with Xaden, and he's like trying to tell her that he loves her without actually saying those words. And then all of a sudden, Brennan, her brother, who was supposedly dead 5 years ago, shows up, and he's like, hey girl, welcome to the rebellion.
Yeah, but dude, I like the way it happens because it's like someone walks in and Violet's eyes widen and Xaden's like, you weren't healed, bitch, queen. You were mended. And then Brennan's just like, hey, bitch. And it's like, because then the music starts.
Yeah.
Dude.
The outro song starts playing.
Yeah, dude. And I'm fucking feeling it while like crying. Like,
oh my God. I was seriously just sitting there like, what the fuck?
Wait, baby. Did you really bring back my dead brother, baby?
But then I'm very confused because does that mean that he was brought back to life? Because remember somebody was trying to bring him back?
I don't know. Because what I thought, because yes, but then that's a crime.
Yeah, it is.
But what if he just was never killed? That was my other thought. And he just wanted to join the other side.
How long has Xaden known about this?
I know that he's been keeping him. This is my brother now. Like he's been living with me. Why do you think I have a bunk bed in my room, babe? Yeah.
Babe, you never questioned the bunk bed? I thought that was weird.
Yeah, babe. And then
I'm just saying.
Violet, don't you remember at the beginning of the school year when you tried giving me milk and I took it to my room and I was like, oh, sick. And I bought some Oreos and I was going to eat it. But then Brennan was like, nah, that's her trick. She did that to me when I was 7. That's her trick. She gonna get you with poison, bitch.
That's her trick. That's her whole spiel.
It's always the milk.
Yeah. That was 4th wing. We didn't even talk about everything. Oh my God, there's no way. We would be here for 5 hours.
Can I just say, it's funny because I feel like we did a lot of talking, but a lot of it was us just bullshitting and making jokes about what didn't happen.
What do you mean? It did happen.
There was no milk in this book.
No milk was harmed in the making of this book.
Dude. I love talking about books very casually with you. It makes it fun.
I'm just trying to have a good time. This isn't like a fucking literary analysis.
I know, dude. Like,
but it could be.
Hi, everyone. If you're still here, the fact that you stayed, we're not like others who will like, you know, actually give you a good book review. We're over here like Liam going like, bitch, I'm taking care of you, bitch.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a good time. But I mean, hey, I feel like we covered the highlights of the book.
Yeah, honestly, we did. And if someone listened to this, although you will not get all of the meat of the book, you'll get the bones. And the bones are the frame. So that's enough.
Oh my God. Get that tattooed. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone write that down, but also TM, that's mine. You use it, you're sued.
I'm so excited for her next book, though. It was already announced. The title was announced, and I believe the cover was announced. It's called Iron Flame.
Yes.
I don't know about the date, though.
I don't think it's this year, but are you planning on rereading the first book before we get to the second?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to. There's just so much happening. There's so much world building that I just feel like I didn't get, and I didn't get everything, you know? And also, I want to go back and see all of the moments that Dane touched her. Like, I want
me
that.
too.
I want to highlight that.
Mm-hmm.
Just think to myself, you bitch.
You bitch! Fucking Dane, who names their son that? I'm sorry to all the Danes listening who just took off their headphones like,
wait, isn't that the name of the brother in the Unhoneymooners? Is it that name? Is it Dane?
It is fucking Dane. I should have fucking known. That's only a bitch's name.
Oh my God. That's a joke.
Sorry, Danes. There's like one Dane out there like, it's okay, Cheli. It's fine. I have a question. So there's this book talker I really like. I do not remember her name, but I love her. She's one of our mutuals. She actually bought this book because she had happened to go on like a Target run and it was there. And she's like, everyone's talking about it. I'm going to go get it. And she is not usually one to read fantasy books, but she was super excited because she was like, everyone's reading it. I feel like this is a good start for me for fantasy because she just doesn't really pick it up. And apparently she read like a good chunk of it and just like said, I think she DNF'd it. And she was like, I don't know if it's just me. I just can't get into fantasy. And that was around the time that I had only read like the first 4 chapters. And I was kind of like feeling for her because I'm like, I kind of get it because it is hard to get into. But then like after a while, I was fucking in it. So do you feel a certain way about people who are like, nah, she too dense? You know what I mean?
No, I don't, because I know people who only read strictly contemporary romance or just contemporaries. And to me, like, I just feel like they wouldn't take the time to really grasp the world of the fantasy book, you know? And it's not fun if you don't take the time to really immerse yourself in this world. Like, even for me, like, I didn't feel it with this book because it had been a while, but when we have moments where we read like different fantasies back to back, it does take me a moment to be like, okay, I gotta take that past fantasy world and just erase it. Like, it's not here anymore. This is a new world that I'm getting into. So I love fantasy, but I can understand why for someone who doesn't really read fantasy, it would be kind of a struggle to get into. But I feel like you kind of have to warm yourself up to it, right? Like, I think you should start with a shorter fantasy book.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, then work your way up to something denser. I wouldn't say this one is that dense, though, because there are other ones that are super detailed.
Like, remember?
Like, overload.
Yep. I always think about, when I think about plot-heavy books, I think about that one time we read Malice and how there was like, I think 15 pages. Just, it was either Malice or Gideon. There was a part where it was like just 15 pages were just backstory. And it's kind of like, okay, I get it, but I want to see Gideon and friends. Like,
I know.
I never felt like that with this book, which is good. But I did feel exhausted because I had just finished reading a novel before that. I do feel like to anyone who has listened to our episode, thank you, but who is going to go and read this book, I do recommend leave space between the other books you're reading. Do not read multiple books with this one because you do need to focus. Although it's not as heavy as other books have been, it's just a lot. Like, there's a lot that goes on, and there's a lot of characters. So,
oh my God, there's so many fucking characters. And honestly, there were some moments where I was like, you know what? There's so many names being thrown at me, but I'm just going to remember the important ones, which was like 3. I was like, I can't remember every single name. And also, I feel like this book was generally like an easy read. I mean, there were some words like thrown in there that were kind of like, that I had to like look up or either just figure out with context. But overall, I think that it wasn't that difficult to follow.
No, it wasn't. And I think I would recommend this book to others. But I'm interested.
Yeah, especially if they like fantasy.
I'm kind of interested, just a little bit though, don't make it weird, on what you rated this book.
I think you should go first.
It was really hard at the beginning to get into this book. I was pet sitting, as Yajaira knows. And fucking
pet sitting.
Yeah, 2 kittens and an old dog. And they did not leave my side at all, ever. So there was a point where I sat them down and I was like, guys, you don't know me, but I'm a book reviewer and I need to fucking finish this book and I can't do it if you're just meowing and barking at me. So I literally I just saved a day and I was like, I'm going to go to the library as soon as it opens. And because the town is kind of like a college town, the library stayed open until 10 p.m. I was just like, I'm just going to stay here and fucking listen to this fucking book. And I did. And I was like, I just need to power through it. And dude, I felt it was funny because I show a lot of emotion when I read, but I couldn't because I was in a public space. So I felt my eyes getting teary like most of this ride. And then when it got to the spice, I was just kind of like, I'm just going to lower it just in case. I know no one can hear this, but I'm going to lower it because it's a lot.
Yeah.
But
you never know.
Oh my God. I consumed this in one go. I don't recommend doing that. But I loved it.
And then you texted me. You were like, dude, my head is so big with Fourth Wing.
I know. I had to go back the next day and listen to some parts, but I was like, my mind exploded. I really, really like Xaden and Violet's relationship. I've always loved the idea of underdogs. Those are usually the characters that I like. And I fucking love that Violet just does shit. Like, she doesn't wait for anyone. She does it because she knows that she can. I am hoping to see interactions between Mira, Violet, and Brennan now that Brennan is back. I wonder if the mom is going to show up too, because I don't know. That family's something else. And I hope to see her parent as well as Xaden's parent show more of an active role in the next book. But that being said,
Xaden's dad's dead.
Oh, you're fucking right. Oh my God. Rest in paradise, bitch.
She killed him.
Remember? Oh my God. I forgot. Wait, bring him back.
Unless
I fucking forgot.
Plot twist.
It's fucking. Oh my God. Imagine if like Violet
walks into the room and then the dad is right behind him. Like, oh, and I'm here too, guys.
They just didn't make a big deal for him. Like, hey guys. Like, oh, I know you. No.
Anyway. It
would be kind of funny if like Violet forgot. I was like, yeah, where's your dad? Fucking Xaden's like,
yeah.
I don't really like to talk about it. Sorry, Xaden.
Talk about it.
I am so excited for the second book. I'm probably not as excited as you, who is going to give this a 5 out of 5, but I am going to give this book a 3.8 out of 5.
Okay, I was close enough.
Only because it took me a while to get into. That's literally the only reason. Probably like
what
a
didn't
4.
work for you though?
The whole beginning part. I really hate when, like you said, when dialogue needs to be given to move the plot forward. So it really gave me the ick. And I don't know. Like it just really turned me off for a very, very long time because it took me a while to pick this book back up after I read the first few chapters.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, "Damn, girl, hurry up."
Okay.
This was actually supposed to come out on the 4th of July because, 4th. I thought that would have been cute, but like, whatever. It's fine.
But there's another podcast that's releasing their Fourth Wing review this Tuesday. So I feel like it kind of is a match made in heaven. Like it worked out. Yes,
it ruined my plans. I have a whole vision board.
I feel like by looking at our viewership, most of our viewers aren't American. So they're going to be like, what about the 4th of July?
Like, who cares? I'm just kidding. I don't actually care. It's just I thought it would have been funny.
The 4th on the 4th. I remember we kept saying that.
Anyway.
But yeah. What about you?
But anyway, so what else didn't work for you? You said it was just the beginning and it just took you a while to get into it.
Yeah,
it was kind of heavy. There was nothing.
No, well,
there was nothing else like in the plot.
Maybe it's because it was an audiobook. I usually don't like listening to audiobooks unless I have the book with me. It's just harder for me to get into, and so many parts felt heavy, and I didn't like having to backtrack so much.
Oh yeah, because I remember when you texted me and you were like, "I'm on chapter 2, but I'm so lost." Okay, fine. I'll just start over.
Yeah, dude, I fucking can't. I don't know if that's like ADHD hitting me, but like I can't do something unless it's done right the first time. And there were so many points where I was like almost done with the chapter and I was like, I was passively listening. I have to go back. And I would have to do that a lot. And I don't like doing that. And it's easier for me if I have like the physical copy. And that's probably what turned me off in certain points. But as soon as it got into like Xaden and Violet having to be forced proximity, I was in. But like before that, it was just really hard.
I love that shit. I think that for me, I got into it pretty quickly. I did like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I think some stories could have been cut a little bit shorter, but I do appreciate how much was happening during her time, at the school, like all of the trials that she had to do. And then her pretty much preparing for the trials. I like the gauntlet, especially because she took Xaden's advice. And that's how she basically survived it. I really enjoyed the writing. I really liked the way that Violet's character I like how she stayed consistent, how she always cared about people. And it's funny because Mira advised her, like, you know what, you're going to be cutthroat pretty much. Like, you have to be cutthroat to survive this. You're not there to make friends. But the first day she was over here like, what's your guys' name? You know what I mean? Like that's just how she is as a person. Yeah. And I know we didn't really talk about it, but I do love her relationship with Rhiannon. Like her and Rhiannon, love them together. I like also the aspect of everyone having their own different types of abilities based on the dragon that they bonded with. Like I said already, I loved her relationship with Xaden. I think that it wasn't a slow burn, but I feel like the tension between them was executed so well. So by the time that, things were happening between them, I was like, oh my God, finally I can breathe again. Because damn, it was getting heavy. I agree with you though. Like sometimes for me, it is difficult for me to be 100% into a book if it's just an audiobook. And I only listen to this on audiobook. So there were some moments where I had to go back to, but it wasn't like a whole chapter. It was just like, okay, let me go back on that paragraph. Because I relatively, for the most part, I was into it. I was there. I was focused. I do love these kinds of stories though, because it definitely reminded me of like Hunger Games and Divergent. And I was so in it. I'm so excited for this to turn into like a fucking movie. And when the author said that it was going to be 5 books as of right now, oh my God, I was getting like so anxious. I was like, damn, so much can happen.
Yeah.
In 5 books. I'm so anxious about it and I'm excited. I did really love it. It's funny because I wasn't going to give it a 5, but talking about it with you, I do really love the story and it just made me appreciate it more. I don't think I've been this excited about a story in like a while. So I would give it a 5. I'm really excited for the next book. I think I'm going to be one of those people that pre-orders it. And if Rebecca, if Becky does a book signing, we're there. Okay, we're gonna be right there. Front
Dude,
row.
I'm so down.
But yeah, no, I really liked this story. I thought that she did an amazing job.
Oh my god! Wait, what was your
Also,
rating?
Also the betrayal. The betrayal, dude. You know I love betrayals. Come on. Especially when it like was done so well, like just knowing that he had been fucking looking into her memories for how long? You know what I realized, and I was going to bring up, that means that he knows that she can stop time.
Yeah, he does.
Which just adds like another level of, oh my god, fuck. Yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 5, and I'm not ashamed about it. Okay, stop it,
dude. I fucking know it.
I love this book. This book was so good. I can't wait to read it again. And I do want to buy a physical copy, but have you seen those like special edition ones? Oh my god.
Yeah, the ones with the edges.
One of those.
Dude, they look really good.
I need one of those. They're so freaking cute. I signed up for Fairy Loot just for that, but like it has me on a whole freaking wait list.
Oh my god, dude. Well, I don't want to keep talking forever. I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for those of you who are listening. If you are listening to us in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, anywhere you get your podcasts on, if you can leave a review and a rating of maybe 5 stars, just maybe, that makes like a huge difference. And so far, it's so like nice to see like, our consistent people who always come back every week to tune in. So it means a lot.
Yeah.
And if you want to help us,
we
even
definitely
a little,
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course. And if you want to help us a little more, maybe telling your friends and family and loved ones about us, because the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. But if you want to support us a little more and you have money, what is something they can do?
Like just like an extra $5 in your pocket. If you just love what we do and you just want to show a little bit of extra support, you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But like no pressure though, because also sharing our episodes is a huge help.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much if you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post every Tuesday and Thursday. I know we're not as updated on YouTube, but we're getting there. But
one day.
Should we read a review about this book?
Oh yeah, let's bring that back.
We stopped doing that, but only because we kind of like forgot.
Yeah, we took a long break, not because we wanted to. We were forced to by our jobs. And so we're going to bring it back. So basically here I'm going to roll a dice. If it lands on an even number, I'm going to read a positive review. If it lands on a negative number, I'm going to read hello? Yeah, I'm going to read a negative review. Okay. Are you going to look for the review? Or do you want me to look?
I could look.
Okay, I'm going to hit the dice now, okay? It's on my phone. It's an app. We got a 4.
A 4 is an even number. That means we're going to read a positive review about this book. Give me a second. Oh my god. Okay,
I think this
one.
one's funny.
Whose did you find?
Ravens and Pages.
Go ahead, you can read it.
Why don't we both read one? Because mine is really short.
Mine is really long, but I just want to read the first paragraph.
Okay, I'll read mine first, okay?
Okay.
So I found a review on Storygraph. It's from Ravens and Pages. It's very short. They gave it a 5-star. And they said, listen, is this a 5-star based on quality? No, but I absolutely ate this up and I rate with my heart. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You know what? Ravens and Pages, I respect that.
I respect that. I also respect that book talker, Eamon. Wrote a review and it's very long. I do recommend go read it because it's really good. But the first paragraph got me. If you all see me on the news tomorrow, it's because I broke into the author's house and tried to steal the manuscript for the sequel.
I freaking love Eamon.
Thank you so much for listening and we will talk to you later. Bye. Dude, I'm sweating. That was a funny one.
I'm sweating too. Oh my god, it's so hot in here. How is the weather over there?
Dude, Oh my gosh. I wasn't here all day, but I'm glad I wasn't because apparently it was 110. And like the electricity was out most of the day and it might go out again tonight. So I'm dying.
I would melt into a puddle.
Oh, I'm
so sorry.
That's kind of poetic.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you poetry for free.
Thank you. Welcome to Poetry Fix.
Our poetry podcast. Wait.
TM. That's us. We'll sue you.
We'll sue you.